Advaita Pancharatnam of Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada, 13th session today, explained by Sri D.B. Gangulli. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Dr. Krishnamurti Shastri, Dambe Punacha, Karnataka, India. Just as dream appears because of the delusion of sleep, the world is appearing. Before we proffer a solution to these objections, we have necessarily to mention a subtle fact. That is, having totally relied on the illustration of the rope snake, the proponent of these objections has believed in the manner just as a person misconceives a snake in a rope at a particular moment of time, Atman has misconceived in himself the world of duality at a particular moment of time. Hence, in this method or system of reasoning, so many difficulties or discrepancies have arisen. But if you observe it intuitively, as in the illustration, no one has at any moment of time imagined or misconceived in the Shiva Swarupa, which is the ultimate absolute reality, samsaritva as well as the world of duality. Observing it from a particular viewpoint, one gets the belief that I am a jiva, I exist or live in a world which comprises many jivas like me, as also many gross, insentient things totally different from and queerer than me. Observing it from another viewpoint, we get the feeling that I am verily the Advitiya or non dual absolute Atman, devoid of any jivatva whatsoever, but who is of Satya Jnana Ananda Swarupa. In these two beliefs, the second one is correct. For as soon as that feeling or belief accrues, we realize or cognize intuitively that samsaritva as well as the world of duality is asatya, unreal, false. Only to drive home this truth, the illustration of the rope snake is mentioned or adduced, and not with any purport whatsoever to the effect that all aspects of the illustration completely fit or agree with the illustrated. Herefore, another suitable illustration for the purpose of solving the third and the fourth objections mentioned above may be adduced. To wit, as a result of the lethargy or dullness of sleep, if a person gets a dream, just examine what kind of various bizarre spectacles are seen. He completely forgets his own nature and, in addition, appears to be of a totally different form. Though he is alone, he witnesses as if there exists a world full of many human beings, creatures, plants, and trees and grass, insentient things like stones, sand, etc., in front of him, and also he reckons that he is one among many people in it. Even so, what is the reality? Both the dream world and the form in which the person, dreamer, appears to be therein are asatya or unreal, false, because of the reason that merely on his waking up it has disappeared. All that amazing spectacle seems to be an existence which is well within his purview or control. In this illustration, none of us deliberately imagines the dream. It by itself appears, but it is not real. Similarly, the jivatva and the jagat of the apparent nature of reality in the waking can be said without any objection or hindrance to be imagined or misconceived in our Atman of the essential nature of Satya Jnanananda. The world is not real. Objection. Merely on the ground that a snake is misconceived in a rope. In the dream, a non existing world of duality appears. Can it be justifiably said that this present waking world of duality and the samsara that exists within it are misconceived phenomena? The statement that the empirical world is a mere appearance cannot at all be established by adducing a couple of illustrations. Merely on the basis of a statement that look at the donkey, how harshly, jarringly it is braying. He too is doing similarly. It does not amount to establishing a musician's note is a donkey's harsh note. On the other hand, merely on the wonderful comparison of the type, ah, what a melodious cuckoo like voice, a hoarse throated woman's speech, which was very unpleasant to hear, cannot at all by any stretch of imagination be decided to be very pleasing and voice sweet. Let the rope snake be an appearance, and let the dream also be a mere appearance. Merely on that count, in what manner can they affect the real empirical world? Consolation. Just as the objects of mere appearance appear, in the same way the empirical world too appears. Just as by means of the correct knowledge or cognition, the misconception to the effect they are real is sublated or falsified. In the same way, the misconception about the empirical world being real is sublated by means of the correct knowledge. Therefore, there is no difference whatsoever between those objects of mere appearance and this empirical world of duality, which is also susceptible to be sublated by the true knowledge of the absolute reality of Atman. For instance, look at the world that appears in a dream. Just like the waking world, that dream world too is appearing to be sprawling in front of us indeed. Just as in the waking world, many human beings, animals, and birds appear to be existing. There in the dream world too, many human beings, animals, and birds are existing. Just as in the waking world, the jivas are born, carry on transactions for a while, and then finally die. In the same way, in the dream world too, we entertain a belief or feeling that jivas are born, transact for a while, and eventually they die. Just as we have transactions in contact with other jivas and gross objects here in the waking world. In the same way, therein in the dream world too, we have transactions in contact with other jivas and gross objects. Why talk more? During that period of time, the dream phenomenon is totally believed, nay, realized by all of us to be waking alone in all respects. Thus, when there does not exist any special or specific hallmark whatsoever in it to demonstrate the state, which we now call waking, is not a dream, then there does not exist any valid means or evidence to demonstrate to or establish the truth that the world is the waking state only and exclusively is real. Therefore, the illustration of the dream experience is not a vain or shallow example at all. In fact, it is an adequate universal experience and intuitive cognition to convince everyone that the waking empirical world is unreal, false, as well as the truth that the waking world is misconceived in Atman of the very essence of pure being consciousness, bliss. Objection: this does not appear to be correct. For only after the dream goes or disappears and the waking comes, the dream appears to be false or unreal. But after the waking disappears, which is that real state, when it comes into being, this waking is rendered false. Is it proper, nay, rational, to affirm being in the waking alone, that the waking and the world before us that is in it are both false? Consolation: the fact that after coming to waking form, dream, the latter is cognized as false is not important. We have now to deliberate upon the question whether that knowledge is correct or not. It is correct indeed, for in the waking, the dream world does not exist anywhere. If the dream world were true, then it would have been possible for us to imagine that it might be even now existing somewhere or the other. But it is not so in our experience. We have determined that the dream world does not exist whatsoever either during the dream period of time or now at the present waking time. Therefore, the dream and its world are both false only, meaning a mere appearance which manifested itself at that period of time. In the same way, when we are in the dream, where does the waking world exist? That does not exist anywhere at all. Even the belief that it exists somewhere in itself is itself not there in us in our dream. If we say that when we are seeing the dream, our waking world making meaning that world which can manifest itself only when we are awake exists, then it amounts to saying that we experience both dream and waking states at one and the same time alone. At one and the same time alone. This statement is self-contradictory. Therefore, we have perforce to aver that the waking world too, like the dream world, is asatya indeed. In any case, because of our emerging out of dream and coming to another state, the dream is not rendered false. Only after deliberating upon its essential nature, we have concluded that it is not real. In the same way, if we deliberate upon the essential nature of waking, it also is cognized to be not real. In order to determine in this manner, there is no need whatsoever to go or migrate to any other state of consciousness. Objection: let us assume that just like the dream world, the waking world also is a mere appearance. But what evidence is there to substantiate the tenet that this appearance is misconceived in Atman, who is of Satya Jnana Swarupa? Where is the experience for us by dint of which we can say that our Atman is of Satya Jnana Swarupa? Consolation: for this, observe the experience of deep sleep. Although in the waking as well as in the dream, both Jivatva and the world of duality are seen is us, we exist indeed in deep sleep. Thus, because of the reasons that in the waking, in the dream, and in the deep sleep, our Atma Swarupa invariably, perennially exists, and it's not possible even to imagine that it does not exist. It evolves from this that Atman is Satya Swarupa. Because of the reasons that Atman is cognizing in the form of Sakshi or the witnessing consciousness, all the jivas and gross inanimate world, both in the waking and in the dream, and he is experiencing in the same witnessing consciousness from the deep sleep state, which is devoid of any trace of the world of duality. It evolves that he is Jnana Swarupa. Because of the reasons that whatsoever object that appears in the waking and in the dream, it is desired to be acquired to or possessed for himself, and in the deep sleep, although there does not exist any external object, Atman provides the experience of happiness or bliss exclusively by his pure absolute existence alone. It evolves that he is Ananda Swarupa. From this intuitive deliberation alone, it evolves further that thus, in the perennially existing Satyajnana Ananda Swarupa of Atman, the world of duality, which manifests only in the waking and in the dream states, is misconceived, meaning apart from that Atman, the world of duality does not exist independently at all. I am pure, full, eternal, non dual. On the whole, from the deliberations carried out so far, what has been established? It is this: our Atman is pure, absolute. In him, neither the impurities or blemishes of samsara nor the impurities or blemishes of the insentient gross world of duality exist even the least bit. There are no valid means or evidence to affirm that he is confined to or restricted by the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. Their relationship is tagged on to him. For although these states of consciousness are coming into existence and going out of existence, this Atman exists, subsists as he is without any mutation or transformation whatsoever. He is Purna or full, consummate. The belief that he exists in some particular part of the world and being caught in the dragnet of time and space, he is suffering all kinds of miseries of life, is a wrong concept. Observed from the transcendental viewpoint of Sakshi Chaitanya, that is intuitive experience or Purna Anubhava, there does not exist any spot whatsoever where he does not exist. Since even this concept of a spot also is imagined or conceived in this Atman consciousness, pure being consciousness, this concept of spot or a part of space does not agree with him in the least. In the same manner, he is not restricted by any measure of time, for the time category is also misconceived in him. Anything that is restricted by time and space categories gets its very essence of being destroyed at a particular point of time, either because of the destruction of its parts or organs or their separation. But since Atman is not at all anything that can be restricted by any measure of time and space, he is Nitya or eternal. For all these reasons, he is Eka or one alone, non dual, meaning the entity not having any jiva or jada vastu, meaning animate or inanimate entity, which can be called a second entity to him. It has already been shown that even during the time when the jivas and jadavastus are appearing, they are mere appearances alone. Especially in deep sleep, there is no taint or trace whatsoever of these phenomena. Just as even when the dream disappears, the dreamer who has witnessed the dream remains or subsists, and when the appearance due to delusions goes, the rope, etc., which was the substratum for the delusion, also alone subsists. In the same way, in deep sleep, without anything of the waking and dream being there, this Atman alone subsists therein. Therefore, Atman alone is the essential nature or quintessence of those phenomena. Thus, Atman in all aspects, respects, and ways, Eka or one alone, Advitiya or non dual entity indeed. I am Shiva. Hence, the teaching that I am Shiva is the ultimate, absolute truth or reality is determined, just as it is enunciated in the Shastras or scriptures that Parameshwara is the cause for the creation, sustenance, etc. of the world of duality. In the same manner, our Atma Swarupa is the substrate or cause for the entire universe that is born, is sustained, and then finally is dissolved. Just as it is propounded that Parameshwara alone has become everything, that is, he pervades everything, in the same way, our Atma Swarupa has become everything. Just as it is described in the Shastras that Parameshwara is in truth of Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava, in the same manner, the truth that our Atma Swarupa too is of Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa is established by means of yukti or reasoning or dialectic based on the strength and support of Anubhava or universal intuitive experience. Therefore, it is now established that Atman of all of us is Shiva alone, as depicted in the Shastras. So, next, dissolution of the delusion of steadfast, steadfast duality. We will see in the next session. So, this is the 13th session of Advaita Pancharatnam. Thank you. Hare Rama.